The earth revolution. When the earth revolves around the sun, it spins on an elliptical orbit at a speed of 18.5 miles per second. Now, or 66 600 mph miles per hour. One complete revolution takes 365 1 by 4 days or a year. As it is not possible to show a quarter of a day in calendar, a normal year is taken at 365 days and an extra day is added every 4 year as a leap year. So now you all gonna know where that extra day came as a leap year. In a leap year, now varying lengths of days and nights. The axis of earth is inclined to the plane of the ellipse, the plane in which earth orbit rotate the sun at an angle of 66 degree, giving rise to different seasons at varying lengths of days and nights. It's If the axis were perpendicular to the plane, the parts of globe would have equal days and nights all times of the year. But we know this is not so. In the northern hemisphere, it means in the winter, in the December, as we go northwards, the hours of darkness steadily increases. In the winter, the nights are longer than the days. This is just same like that. And in the summer, the condition is exactly reversed, means the days are longer than the nights. Okay, the complete this is given only. You can read from this paragraph and learn the all the degrees which are given and all the values. Now at the north pole there will be 6 months of continuous daylight. You know that at the poles there are six months, like 6 months of continuous light and 6 months of continuous night. Means 6 months continuous light and 6 months continuous night. Okay. Now here comes the revolution of Earth and its effects in season. You can see this picture to know how the seasons change. A simplified diagram showing the annual movement of sun and causes of its season. You can see this from your books. Now in the southern hemisphere, in the same process takes place except for the conditions are reversed. So the conditions are reversed in the southern hemisphere as are those in northern hemisphere, and the midsummers at the north pole will be midwinter at the south pole. This is what you have to learn from your book. The second point is the altitude of the midday sun. In the course of a year, the earth revolution around the sun with its axis inclined at 66 degree to the plane of elliptic changes and the apparent altitude of the midday sun. The sun is vertically overhead at the equator on 2 days each year. These are usually 21 March and 21 September. These 2 days are the days on which the sun is vertically overhead on the equator. Though the date changes because the year is not exactly 365 days, right? These 2 days are termed equinoxes, meaning equal nights. Because on these 2 days all the parts of world have equal days and nights, so these are termed as equinoxes. After the March equinox, the sun appears to move north and is vertically overhead at the Tropic of Cancer, means 23.5 degree north on about 21 June. So it is called the June or summer solstice. And as the same means in that what happens in the northern hemisphere, but in the southern hemisphere the date is 22 December, on which the sun is overhead at the Tropic of Capricorn, and that is called winter solstice. Okay, this shows about the winter and night solstice. You will just read it from your book once. Okay, so we're gonna start the third para now. Third topic: seasonal changes and their effects on temperature. Summer is usually associated with much heat and the brightness, and winter with cold and darkness. Why should this be so? In summer, the sun is higher in the sky than in the winter. When the sun is overhead, its rays fall almost vertically on the earth, concentrating its heat on the same area. Temperature therefore rises, and summers are always warm. In winter, the oblique rays, means in summer the rays are like this, but in the winters the rays are like this. oblique rays of the sun came throughout the atmosphere less directly and have much of their heat absorbed by atmospheric impurities and water vapor. The sun rays fall faintly and spread over a great area. This is thus little heat and temperature remains low. In addition, days are longer than nights in summer and more heat is received over a longer daylight duration. Nights are shorter and less heat is lost. There is a net gain in total heat received and temperature rises in summer. Short days and longer nights in the winter accounts for the reverse effect. Now, dawn and twilight. The brief period between sunrise and a full daylight is called dawn, and the between sunset and complete darkness is termed twilight. This is caused by the fact that during the period of dawn and twilight, the earth received diffused or refracted light from the sun. It is still below the horizon since the sun rises and sets in vertical path at the equator of the period during which refracted light is received. In short, but in temperate latitude the sun rises and sets in oblique path and the period of refracted light is longer. It is much longer still at the poles, so that winter darkness is really only twilight most of the time. The figure shows the dawn and twilight at the equator and temperate latitudes. Okay. Now the mathematic location of places on the globe. This shows where the Tropic of Cancer lies, where the Tropic of Capricorn lies, where the places lies, and how to give the name to the latitudes and longitudes. What is minutes? What is degree minutes? And okay, you're gonna read this. Now I'm going to start from the topic latitude. Latitude is the angular distance of a point on the Earth's surface measured in degrees from the center of the Earth, as shown in figure 10a. This is the figure 10a, and this is how the parallel of latitudes and meridian of longitudes are denoted. Right? It is parallel to the line at the equator, which lies midway between the poles. These lines are therefore called parallel of latitude, and on the globe they are actually circle, becoming smaller pole warts. The equator represents 0 degree, and the 0 degree, and the north and south poles are 90 degree north and 90 degree south. Between these points, lines of latitudes are drawn at interval of 1 degree. For precise location on a map, each degree is subdivided into 60 minutes and each minute is divided into 60 degree. This is for degree, this is for minute, and this is for 6 seconds. This is how we denote them. Sorry. Now came the Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree north, and Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degree south. The Arctic Circle, 66.5 degree north, and the Antarctic Circle, that is 66.5 degree south. As the Earth is slightly flattened at the poles, Milky Way shape, right? So the linear distance of the degree of latitude at the pole is little longer than at the equator. For example, at the equator, means 0 degree, it is 68.704 miles. At 45 degree, it is 69.054 miles, and the poles it is 69.407 miles. The average is taken at 69 miles. It is useful figure that can be used to calculate distance of any place. Bombay is 18.55 degree north. It is therefore 18.55 into 69 or 1280 miles from the equator. With the aid of your atlas, find the approximate distance which follows. Okay, this is for you. Just do your homework. Now, what is longitude? Longitude is an angular distance. The latitude was the parallel lines which were denoted, and the longitude is the angular distance measured in degree along with the equator east or west of a prime or first meridian. On a globe, longitude is shown as a series of semicircles. Longitude is seen as a series of semicircles that run from pole to pole, passing through the equator. Such lines are also called meridians. Unlike the equator, which is centrally placed between the poles, any meridian could have been taken begin the numbering of longitude. It was finally decided in 1884 by international agreement to choose a zero meridian. In 1884, it was decided to choose a zero meridian, the one which passes Okay, with this, through the Royal Astronomical Observation at Greenwich near London, and this place was called as prime meridian, means 0 degree, from which all other meridians radiate eastward and westward up to 180 degree. Since the Earth is spherical, it has a circumference calculated of 25,000 miles. In linear distance, each of 360 degree of longitude is 25,000 divided by 360 or 69.1 miles. As the parallels of latitude become shorter polewards, so the meridian of longitude, which converges at the pole, encloses a narrower space. A degree of longitude therefore decreases in length. It is longest at equator, which means 69.172 miles. At 25 degree, it is just decreases with the increase in degrees. So, right, at poles at poles it is 0 mile. There is so much difference in the length of degree of longitude outside the tropics that they are not used to for calculating as in case of latitude, but they have one very important function, that they determine local time related to GMT or Greenwich Mean Time. This is the full form of GMT, which is sometimes referred to as the word time. Longitude and time. Local time, since the earth makes one complete revolution in 360 degree in a day or 24 hours, it passes through 15 degree in an hour or 1 degree in every 4 minutes. The earth rotates from west to east, so every 15 degree we go eastward. Local time in advanced by 1 hour. Conversely, if we go westward, local time is retarded by 1 hour. So we may conclude that places east of Greenwich see the sun earlier and gain time, whereas places west of Greenwich see the sun later and lose time. If we know GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, to find local time, we merely have to add or subtract the difference in number of hours from given latitude. A simple memory aid for the that will be east gain add EGA and west lose subtract WLS, EGA and WLS. This is EGA and WLS. This is a trick to remember. Sorry for the writing. Yeah, I know. Okay, leave it. You could coin your own rhythms for the abbreviations. Hence, when it is noon in London, the local time for Madras will be 5 hours 20 minutes ahead of London, or 5:20 p.m. But it is local time for the New York will be 4 hours 56 minutes behind the London, or 7:04 a.m. We can put it in another way. The Londoners are having lunch, and Indians will have dinner, and New Yorkers will have breakfast. This is difficult to believe, but it is true. The rotation of Earth around the Sun means that any point in the time, different places will experience a different time of the day. There are many ways of determining the longitude of a place. The simplest way is to compare the local time with GMT by listening to BBC radio. Okay, now, for example, the captain of ship in the midest of the ocean wants to find out in which longitude his ship lies. So the GMT is 8 a.m. and it's noon in the local region. It means he is 4 hours ahead of Greenwich, which and must be east of Greenwich, because the east are having the times more than of Greenwich, and his longitudes will be 4 into 15, that is 60 degree east. Now the standard times and time zones. If each town were kept the time with its own meridian, there would be much difference in local time between one town and the other. 10 a.m. in Gorgetown, Penang would be 10:10 in Kota Bharu, a difference of 2.5 degree in longitude only. Just 2.5 degree will have the 10-minute increase. Increase means it must be in the east. In larger countries such as Canada, USA, China, India, and USSR, the confusion arising from the differences alone would drive the people mad. Travelers going from one end of the country to the other would have keep changing their vote if they wanted to keep their appointments. Right? It is impracticable and very inconvenient. To avoid all these difficulties, a time system of standard time is observed by all the countries. Most countries adopt this standard time from the central meridian of the countries. The Indian government has accepted the meridian of 82.5 degree east for the standard time, which is 5 hours 30 minutes ahead of the Greenwich Mean Time. The whole world has in fact been divided into 24 standard time zones. The whole world is divided into 24 standard time zones, each of which differs from next by 15 degree in longitude or 1 hour in time. Most countries adhere to this division, but due to their peculiar shape and locations of some countries, reasonable derivations from the standard time zones cannot be avoided. Large countries like USA, Canada, and USSR, which have great east-west stretch, have to adopt several time zones. Just for a country, there may be several time zones. USSR, the largest country, which extends through almost 165 degree of longitude, is divided into 11 time zones. Just think of it. Just as countries having only single countries having 11 time zones, which is 10 p.m. on the Monday night in Leningrad. It will be almost 7 a.m. the following Tuesday morning in Vladivostok. These both are in USSR. Travelers along the Trans-Siberian Railway have to adjust their watches almost a dozen times before they reach their destination. Both Canada and USA have 5 time zones. The Atlantic, Eastern, Central, and Mountains of Pacific time zones, the difference between the local time of Atlantic and Pacific coast is nearly 5 hours. Okay, sorry. The 5 time zones in the North America. This shows the 5 time zones of the North America. Now, the international dateline. This is the last page, and we're gonna complete this chapter. Okay, let us do it. The international dateline. The traveler going eastward gain time from Greenwich until it reaches the meridian 180 degree east, which he will be 12 hours ahead of GMT. Similarly, going westward, he loses 12 hours, means 180 degree west. It is thus a total of 24 hours or a whole day between the two sides of 180 degree meridian. This is the international date line, where a date changes by exactly 1 day when it is crossed. A traveler crossing the date line from east to west loses a day because the loss in time he was made, and while crossing the date line from west to east he gains a day because of a gain in time he encountered. Thus, when it is midnight Friday on the ascetic side, by crossing the line eastward he gains a day. It will be midnight Thursday on the American side, and he experienced the same calendar date twice. When Magelson's ship eventually arrived home in Spain in 1522 after circumnavigating the world from Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Oceans and westward along the international date line. The crew knew nothing about adding a day or for the one they has missed. They thought they had arrived on the 5th of September, but they were shocked to be told that the date was 6th of September. The modern aircraft leaving Wellington at 5 p.m. on Friday reached Hawaii 4,100 miles away at 2 p.m. the same Friday. Okay. And the same aircraft on its return journey from Hawaii leaves at 6 p.m. on Friday but arrives at 11 a.m. on Sunday. Can you explain this? Okay, definitely we can. Just this is because of the time. If we gonna go east or west, the time just decreases or increases. This is the reason. Now the international date line of the mid Pacific curves from the normal 180 degree meridian at Bering Strait, Fiji, Tonga, and other islands to prevent confusion of the day and dates in some of the island groups. Thus are cut through this by the meridian. Some of them keep ascetic or New Zealand standard time, others follow American date and time. The international date line is shown in the figure 14. Okay, so this is all for today. This is the figure 14 which shows the time, date and time. Now come to the question and exercises. Do these question and exercises by yourself, and I hope you really liked the video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, comment down your suggestions or your doubts, and The Telegram channel link is in the description. Go and check it out. And thank you for watching.